Several Palestinians have been invited to a discussion in Kfar Etzion with Eliaz and other settlers. Unless they're hired to do construction, Palestinians rarely find themselves in settlements. I go to pick up Mohammed Abu Ayash for the meeting. He lives in Beit Umar, a town of 17,000 a few kilometers south of Kfar Etzion. I ask him if there are settlements that are close to Beit Umar.
We have 3 nearest settlements. It's too close to Beit Umar. One is Karm Sur, about 1 kilometer from here, and Gush Atzion settlement, about 2 kilometers, and Beit Ain less than 2.5.
At today's meeting, he'll tell the story of how his grandfather was killed on May 14, 1948, the last day of the 1948 war, at the famous Lone Tree in Gush Etzion.
This is my grandfather. Just one photo we have for him. Musa Ibrahim Abu Ayash.
And below, the same lone tree that's on the Gush Etzion flag, but here with the word Palestine above. We go to a hill on the edge of town where Mohammed points out the settlements. Just last week, the entire town was closed off by the Israeli army for a few days because of friction with settlers. Mohammed tells me not to get out of the car while I video the permanent Israeli guard tower at the main entrance to the town, or the army jeep at another entrance. Then we drive to Beit Zakaria to pick up Mohammed Attallah, also coming to the meeting. 2 kilometers south of here, the Kfar Etzion massacre happened on May 13, 1948. On the eve of the next day, May 14th, Ben-Gurion declared the establishment of the State of Israel. And on May 15th, the last day of fighting, Mohammed Abu Ayash's grandfather was killed right here. Between 1948 and 1967, the West Bank was a territory of Jordan. During that time, the Lone Tree, a symbol of longing for Israelis, supposedly could be seen from the border, 5 or 6 kilometers west of here. We drive together through the security gate into Kfar Etzion. When Israel won the '67 war and took possession of the West Bank, the Kfar Etzion widows and orphans petitioned the government to settle here again. And in September 1967, Kfar Etzion kibbutz became the first Israeli settlement. Eliaz and I had visited Mohammed Attallah many times, but this is the first time for Mohammed to be inside the gates of a settlement. The meeting starts with Mohammed Abu Ayash. He describes his grandfather, who he'd never known, from the memories of his grandmother.
With dark skin of color, brown eyes, and he was a real man. Always he was helping the weak side. And that day, the people come from my village to take the bodies. They come back from Gush Atzion at evening. She saw many people who taken on the shoulders, different people, different bodies. She felt her husband one of them. She started running to meet, to saw him. And she saw his get shot in his chest and in the head. I can say that after 62 years, 63 years, the war is not the best way to connect people together.
What did Mohammed Attallah learn from the family story of his father Ibrahim helping the Jews at the end of the war?
זה כמו שהאמנה מנותן האבא, זה בן האדם, זה בן האדם. זה לא כמה משנה, הוא ערבי, הוא יהודי, זה בן האדם, קודם כל. אם זה משהו יכול לעזור, לבן אדם זה צריך לעזור.
6 months ago, through Eliaz and Mohammed's continued efforts talking with the regional Israeli government, Gush Etzion Mayor Shaul Goldstein and Israel's Vice Prime Minister Silvan Shalom visited Beit Zakaria.
סילבן שלום אמר לו, צריך לעזור להם, באמת. לעשות להם ביוב ולעשות להם חשמל, מים, הכל. אמר, אינשאללה. אתה יודע, זה אינשאללה חשוב. אנשים מחכים, אינשאללה, שיעזור לנו.
לא מחכים, אנחנו מנסים לעשות, לקדם עניינים.
We just give Khilbat Zakaria a Jewish name and build a new settlement.
מאחז.
And then we can get
אומר רעיון. להפוך את חירבת זכריה למאחז, להתנחלות. אז תקבלו את כל הכסף, את כל הזה. For the first time, I heard the story of the last battle on Gush Etzion from the Palestinian point of view, and the tragedy from the other side. And it wasn't easy for me to know how deep the wounds are, and to know how hard both sides must practice themselves to heal the wounds.